Hello, Monica. Thank you for allowing me to share energy space with you. Your energy is so beautiful, and I'm really grateful and appreciative. We're going to start. I'm going to do my best because I'm feeling the need to use the singing bowl, and I have not practiced a whole lot, so hopefully this will sound okay. If not, we will see, but I'm feeling like it can help to kind of calm and balance the vibration and frequency right now. So let's do this. Not too bad. All right. So let's see, I started at 3:59, tapping in at 4:23. So yeah, usually it's about 30 minutes that I kind of come up with um, that focus. So I wrote down, I've been writing down kind of the different things for people. And so for you, Palo Santo I've been using to cleanse the space between readings and general, and it also helps to promote calm and clarity. As I said, the singing bowl, it just felt right to kind of bring in a little bit of a vibration that can kind of be soothing and calm. The stones that came forward for me, for you, the rose quartz heart. We've got I've got the candles going. We've got third eye, heart chakra, and root chakra. So we'll talk about that. But we've got the rose quartz heart. That's a lot of love of others, which you have plenty and abundance of, and love of self, which is kind of some of the work that it feels like we're going to be looking at. Also, what came to me are these honeycomb rubies. I love these because ruby is UV reactive, and these are so reactive that you can actually see it with the ring light on, so that is pretty cool. Rubies are associated with heart chakra and root chakra, so these are really, oh, here we go with the hiccups again. When I was at the Parafest, one of the other medium readers, Kerr the medium, she was like, oh, you get the hiccups too. Apparently this is a thing that happens quite a bit when channeling, so fun times. I sneeze sometimes too. But the honeycomb ruby, looking at the heart chakra, looking at kind of balancing the heart and the root chakra. Unakite, this stone just makes me think of you quite a bit. So Unakite has this green to it. It is a heart chakra stone, and it has a little bit of peach. It reminds me, it's very earthy in the way that I view it. I don't know if that's how other people would describe it, but that's how I feel. So when I'm around people who have a very nurturing and very down-to-earth energy, this is the stone that comes to mind. Now, also, I've got black obsidian and Apache tear. So the black obsidian heart really came through with that root chakra, feeling a sense of security, feeling a sense of grounding, feeling like comfortable, peaceful in your body. The Apache tear, it's also a form of obsidian. But with the Apache tear, a lot of times it's going to come forward when we're looking at healing, particularly in relation to grief. And grief is not always just for the passing of someone, but it can also be a grief of, feeling like we've lost something, whether it's an item, like a physical item, whether it's a situation, whether it's time, pieces of ourselves. It could be just change and transition in general. So that came through. And then I've never chosen this one as a stone or something to represent, but this is mica. And the mica came to me. It can be focused on heart chakra, but also there's a property where with mica, it's like this reflective thing, like the mirror and shining the mirror back on yourself. And that seemed to be very big when I was tuning in, because it feels like you're giving so much out, but there's a lot that needs to be brought back in. So we'll go into the decks that came forward. So we've got the Light Seers Tarot. So this one and another one I'm going to use are the pocket versions. So this is by Colette Baron Reid. We've got this is by Chris Ann. I am getting ahead of myself. The Mystical Shaman is another pocket deck that I have. This is by Colette Baron Reid. And their collaborators, Alberto Velodo and Marcela Lobos. But this deck also came forward. Both very beautiful decks. I totally forgot to tell you that a fairy stone, very earthy connection to me as well, is another thing that I picked up. So this is also root chakra associated, but at the same time very playful. And I feel like that's another aspect of this, is playfulness, but also being grounded. Okay, I'm getting a little I need to focus. All right, so we also have the Angels and Auras Oracle. I don't know why I'm having a hard time like talking right now. This is weird. By Radley Valentine and Dougal Fraser. This is a beautiful deck, and I love how it brings in messages for focus and gives you some examples, and then also talks about, you know, when your things are unbalanced or things we might need to work on. After that, there's a couple of decks I'm kind of not sure. The Sign of the Times deck feels like it might be a good one, but we will see. And then the Healing Mantra deck. So we will get started with that in just a moment. Initial impressions for this reading is: you have a beautiful soul, an ancient spirit. Your love is boundless and needs to be reflected back to yourself. Like I said, the mica. Ooh, there's another little smaller piece. You are an earth angel. And I totally believe that came into my mind, but I totally believe that you have this energy that is amazing. But the problem is, or the difficulty for people who have that earth angel energy, is that it often leads to difficult life experiences. There are a lot of things that you may go through, lessons and things that it doesn't make sense. Sometimes we are and to fulfill the role of karma for someone else, but it feels very difficult for us too. You have given selflessly, and now you need to allow yourself to be cared for. Not a loss of independence, but to trust that it is okay for you to receive and to lean on others for support, at least sometimes. So I will take a picture of this and send this with the reading, but for now, let's get started. I hope you're well. I am so grateful to you for being my first reading at the Parafest, and the first reading I've ever done at a vendor event. I have done readings with individuals and things like that, but I have not been to a vendor event before Parafest, and I did get invited back for next year. They just set the date for next year. I can't remember right now when the date is because I just saw it the other day. I think they posted it maybe Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. But that's exciting. And I've told my brother, who does the wire wrapping of the crystals, that he needs to sign up and come, because it'll definitely be a good event. All right, so we're going to start with this Light Seers deck. God, angels, guides, and ancestors. Where do we start? What is the initial message for Monica? Is that the right question? Let's see, we have, and that makes perfect sense. We've got the Four of Swords, and in this deck, when you look at this card, there's the Four of Swords. Now, with the Four of Swords in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you have the swords kind of lined up on the wall over top of the person, and they're laying in a bed resting. And this card is representing allowing yourself to rest, to take time to focus on yourself, to nurture yourself. So it's funny that this came out, and I love the imagery of the bird's nest. And it's kind of making my heart palpitate because there's an Eastern bluebird bird box that my husband and I have on our porch. And we have this Eastern bluebird family that we have felt very honored. They have built their nest and had babies in it last year and this year. And one of the babies this morning, I'm hoping that he or she is just learning to fly, and as a fledgling is struggling, but some of the feathers looked bent. And so before we came into the house earlier, she allowed me to pick them. I feel like it was a he. So I'm going to say he allowed me to pick him up and rub his feathers and soothe him. And he didn't seem to want to be any particular place. Oh, this is interesting. As my hand is right here, I feel like I'm sending Reiki to this card. My hand has the heat and the pulsation of sending Reiki. So it feels like there's some healing that needs to be done. And maybe that's why I'm telling the story of this bird, because I sent Reiki to the bird and set him back into the nest in the bird box. Even though his siblings have flown off, I'm hoping that mom and dad, who have been coming to the nest quite frequently, are able to help him. And as I opened up the bird box and put him up to the nest, he quickly jumped in and settled himself in, like this picture. And also, Eastern bluebirds are blue, and then they have like the peachy color, kind of like this red. So I think that's why I'm telling you the story that literally just happened. I said this morning, but I guess it was this afternoon, because it was after a brunch that we had with my dad for Father's Day. But just like that little Eastern bluebird, it's being able to find a place that feels comfortable for you. And you see right here, you have like this crochet or knitted piece, a heart with the string leading out. And so it's being able to allow yourself to support yourself, but also to know that this heart that you've made, you see the string is kind of leading out of the nest. I feel like that's also indicating that it's okay to allow others to help support you in this space. And the swords often can represent like thoughts and difficulties with overthinking, logic, and things like that. So let go of some of those overthinking logical thoughts and allow yourself to go and lean more into the emotions. And rest. Like, just allow yourself to rest. That's interesting. I haven't told anyone that. My husband and I experienced that right before I came into the room after we got home, because I was like, I've got 3 readings that I want to record. And so I haven't told anyone about that. 4 is a big number for you right now, because you also got the 4 of Wands. Now, the 4 of Wands in the original Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck is showing 2 people who sometimes it's considered the marriage card, but it doesn't have to just be marriage. It's like coming together. So it could be finding those supports that I talked about outside of just yourself. Because even in the message, I believe it said something about, here we go, allow yourself to be cared for, not loss of independence, but trust that it is okay for you to receive and lean on others for support, at least sometimes. So for me, this is feeling like you being able to recognize that there are people in community near you where you can find that support to help nurture and foster that rest, and who, like, they are having so much fun, and there is like these streams of like magic and glitter and stuff, like just allowing yourself to step outside of your comfort zone. And this almost looks like a carnival, just, or a festival or something, just really resting, but also having fun, doing things that nurture and soothe your soul. It doesn't mean you have to go out in public. This can be something that's, you know, just a small thing, but it's really just getting into that, like the wands are fire and passion. So allowing yourself to get into that playful mode and let loose, I'm hearing. Like you don't have to be the adult is what I'm hearing. Like you don't always have to be the adult. I don't know if you felt like that's something that happens sometimes. Yeah, so we've got the Five of Swords, and again, those thoughts, and you see how this person is just holding their hand to their head. And even right now, I'm feeling a pressure right across my head, like just this, which I was feeling before, but I was trying to push it out of my mind because I was like, focus, Rebecca. But I feel like after seeing this card, that's part of the reading, that it's just a full head. Like there's so much going on and feeling disconnected from yourself. And I say that because as I look, you've got this crow right here. And this crow, I love that it's a crow, even though this isn't the crow deck. It's like this crow is kind of speaking, but this person is kind of pushing it out. And so crows are very insightful. And I feel like you see this person back here, that's just an aspect of yourself that's been pushed back, that's been pushed behind. And so I feel like it's letting go of whatever these thoughts are that are kind of coming to the forefront, the overthinking, the rumination, the focus on what's going on for others and how you can help them or what they may expect from you, and focusing on you. Because when you're not doing that, you're getting into the space where it's overwhelming, it's stressful, it puts us in a state of struggle, like the cortisol levels rise and everything. And so it's reclaiming this piece, incorporating it, allowing for you to have support, not feeling like you're separate from everything else. There's a lot of blue in that card too. And that piece in the background looks almost like it's saying, I'm here, like, or calling out for guidance and like trying to say to you, hey, I'm here. So this is that aspect of you. What does it say? You have a beautiful soul, an ancient spirit. Your love is boundless and needs to be reflected back to yourself. So you got to pay attention to that part of yourself that is providing that care and love to everybody else but yourself. And then you've got the Sun card. I need to take a sip of water. Excuse me. You've got the Sun card, and look at the beautiful colors in this card. Notice that actually I just saw this aspect in the background, this reflection I said, in this, for me in this reading, looks like a reflection. Notice how they're in the same position. Head up. This one, there's like this stream of light and just a gleam coming down, whereas this is the full-on sun. Like this is stepping into you. So I feel like it is letting go of some of this focusing on everyone else and saying, okay, I'm going to focus on me. And when you focus on yourself, just seeing that beautiful light that you portray, but giving some of that energy back to you and allowing yourself, again, look at how playful these cards are, allowing yourself to just step outside of that box and be playful. Why do I keep coming back to this tattoo on this lady's arm? Let me draw that symbol because I need to look that up at some point. All right. I've got a lot on your thing. So it's like a diamond, but it's got a tail on either end. We will see what that means, because there's something with that. There's definitely something with that. All right, so that Sun card. Sun can also represent new beginnings, joy, passion, like And there's in both of these cards, so you've got this swirl of light, this beam coming down, and it's coming to this person and it's coming to this person, because these are both aspects of yourself. It's just letting go of this like logical thought, what's expected person, and stepping into this playful person. There's also a beam coming straight out of here toward her, like just, I'm hearing release, like just allowing yourself to release. And look at the fairy stone and this card, like they're just teaming up for me, really embracing that natural curiosity, that colorful aspect of yourself, and that passion and drive that you have. Star cards on the bottom and immediately caught my attention. The star card can represent being seen. So for some people, it may be getting out in public more, but I feel like for you, this is healing. This is healing the 4 and 5 of Swords energy. This is you allowing yourself to focus on you, to make that connection with whatever it is that lights you up. Notice that we've got in these cards just this big ball of light, and this one is tied to a string. We've got a string in this one too. Like you are connected to supports here on earth and in the spirit realm, but it's being able to focus on those connections, letting go of the thoughts of all the things that you feel like you may need to think about, you may need to focus on, and focusing on you and that connection. And it is so beautiful that, like I said, your spirit is absolutely beautiful and people are attracted to it. You are an empath with that beam of light above your head and people are attracted to it, but you have to be able to give that same energy back to you. And it's hard to do, but part of it is going to be some stillness. And the number on this is 17, which translates or breaks down to an 8. And that feels important for some reason. Why does that feel important? 8. I'm not sure. Maybe you know. All right. So the star card. So such a beautiful energy. Now the sun card is 19. And 19 breaks down to a 10, which breaks down to a 1. And 1 is kind of like that beginning, pushing forward, letting go of some of this other stuff that's been heavy. Even with the 10 is completion. So even if we just go to 9 and 1 being 10 and not break it down to a 1, 10 and 1 is completion. And even with these swords, we've got 4 and a 5, which makes the 9. 9 is right before the completion. So taking these two things, using the rest to let go of these overwhelming thoughts, bringing in the 4 of Wands energy of people or places, energies, spaces, things that are supportive of you, spirits, connection, things like that, so that you get to 10 energy, the completion being that you are just you and you feel comfortable, you feel connected, you feel that healing that you give others so freely, but it's time to give to yourself. And that's funny. I wouldn't usually reference somebody else in a reading because your readings are personal. Oh, that's funny too. But because the two of you are very connected with each other, in Gina's reading, one of the things that came up in the Signs of the Times Oracle, a sign for her was stars. And we've got the star here. And the 8 of Wands is also coming up for you. Like for this particular card and this particular energy and these wands coming together, I feel like this is saying that you need to focus on you now. This isn't something that can wait. And these almost look like birthday candles to me. And it's very much so pulling in this colorful energy of the Sun card. And so it's celebrating you. It's being able to focus on you. It's being able to say that You are worth it. Wands are fire, passion, and that Sun card is fire and passion. And even though we have the peace and calm right here, look at the fiery passion of that connection. So yeah, you can have a balance between both, but it's time to just let yourself focus on healing for yourself, love for yourself. What lights your soul up is what I'm hearing. What lights your soul up? That grounding can still be there. Actually honoring ourselves and tapping into how we feel, not just our thoughts, tapping into our body and our emotions, doing things that feel supportive, even if it is just dancing like nobody's watching you, or moving around, or going out in nature, whatever it is. Those are things that can be so helpful. One more shuffle of the tarot deck, and nothing's coming out, so we're going to move on. That's beautiful. All right, so we have the Mystical Shaman deck that we're going to move on to. This is another beautiful, I love all the decks and all the colors, but beautiful imagery on them. That's the back of the deck. All right. I may have to start getting these pocket decks because they are a little easier to shuffle with my small hands. All right, so with this, the Gatherer. 21 is the number, 2 and 1 break down to a 3. So looking at this, it's reminding me kind of Thanksgiving and gratitude. There's the blue feather, which can represent the throat chakra. And I feel like that's part of this connection right here. So it's not even that you have to speak out, it's speaking your truth. It's connecting and saying the things, whether out loud or writing it down, or through some kind of, doesn't necessarily have to be a prayer. It can be just speaking it into the universe, but speaking up about what you want. What are the things that you need? I feel like that's part of the gathering. Like, you're really good at being able to give to others and ascertain what they need, but it's figuring out what you need and want. I'm also seeing with this, as I said, Thanksgiving, that very autumn vibe. And when we look at that, autumn as a time where, you know, animals do start gathering things up. We start preparing for the winter. But I feel like it's going back to this rest mode, like getting ready to take a break, take a rest, allowing yourself to slow down. That feels important. What else? Whoop. Dropping the cards. What is that? Feels like a full moon. Slow down and release the anxieties, release any worries, release the expectations, release. I'm hearing fear, but I don't know what that would be connected to. What is that on her forehead? Is that a butterfly? Looks like a butterfly. So knowing that this is a time of transformation, and sometimes when things are transforming or growing, it may go quickly at times, like that 8 of Wands, but sometimes we got to slow down and make sure that we're nurturing it. Kind of like the 4 of Swords that we had talked about. So the Child, this is a 7. Just like the Star card is a 17, this is a 7. So with the Child, I feel like this is kind of calling you back into healing that child. You've always been the giver. There's a child inside of all of us. Like, even when you look at this nest, what is it that you need? And maybe you didn't get it when you were younger. Maybe you still don't get it. But what does that inner child need? What do you need to be able to feel safe and supported? To be able to feel like you have the security that you need? whether that's when you're interacting with others or that's something for yourself. And the interesting thing here is that in both of these cards, it's almost like the child version and the adult. And notice that on both, and this is not in every card, there's that, well, there are the moon symbols around her, but that top of the card right there very much so looks like different phases of the moon. Both look like a full moon, or this one's almost full and this is a full moon. But really being able to take this time, gather up the resources that you feel are necessary, or the people, those supports that I talked about, and being able to heal that inner child. You may need to, in this fall time, go into that cocoon a little bit so that you can reemerge in this more playful energy. But definitely that child is coming through. There's something that that child, and maybe this is a meditation you can do. What does that inner child need for you to know? What does that inner child need? It can be a meditation. It can be where you're writing it down and just ask yourself, what did I need then? What do I need now? Anything else from the Mystical Shaman deck? I'm seeing the rose quartz and the unakite, you know, that very loving, nurturing energy. The child within you needs you to focus on yourself more than you're focusing on others. And then with these phases going around the photo of the child, it's being able to, and I had a whole bunch just fall out. Oh, that's funny, because when I'd opened the 10, this was the card on the bottom. And when those cards fell and I looked at the deck to put them back, this was the card right in front of me. So this feels important. The Heart of the Sky. So like I said, I called you an earth angel in my impressions. And I feel like that's true. 2 and 4 is 6. 24, I don't know if that's important. But you've got the moon in this one too, over here in the corner. And you've got this energy, the Heart of the Sky. Her face looks a bit forlorn. And yet kind of like she's looking off into the distance. And we've got the moon above her head again. And the moon is not above the picture in all of these cards, but all three that you've gotten from this deck have had the moon. So with the moon, sometimes it's looking at what is hidden, what we don't see, what needs to come to the light, as well as releasing and letting go of anxieties. And I feel like, again, what needs to come to the light is you embracing that beautiful side of yourself that is so compassionate, but doing that toward yourself. And also, like with this heart, I'm looking back at the Four of Wands, like being playful and allowing yourself to step outside of your box some. We'll see if there's anything else coming out, but that card is just fascinating. You are a true mystic. That ancient soul, I mean, absolutely. Ancient soul with a heart of gold is what I just heard. 33 is up on the clock. 33. Three. All right. So I called you an angel soul. I think I said mystical. We got 48. So 4 and 8 is 12, which breaks down to a 3. And I said 33. And then I said 333. Here's the final 3, which is the sorcerer. You have this, look at that rainbow, because the rainbow is becoming a very prominent theme in some of your cards. Like you have this beautiful spirit and soul, and you have this like quiet old soul nature to yourself, but there's a playfulness that you haven't necessarily let out of the box as much. And it's about finding that balance. And with the Sorcerer, this is reminding me of the Magician and the Tarot deck. It's knowing that you've got all the tools that you need. You don't need anything else. And then we have this Vision Quest 60. So with the Vision Quest, that's what I was saying when I was talking about like the heart of the sky, and especially when I was talking about the child, of being able to either do some kind of an inner child, that's when I was talking about inner child healing meditation, or automatic writing, stream of consciousness, writing things down, just tapping into yourself to say, what part of me needs to heal? What needs to change? What did I need when I was younger? What do I need now? Those feel very, very important. All right, so let's go to the Angels and Auras Oracle by Radleigh Valentine and Dougal Fraser. Random noises from Becca. And these are beautiful too with the angel wings. All right. Ow, excuse me. Whew. What else? Well, what are the things that Monica needs to focus on bringing into her life, and what are the things she needs to release? How can we move forward on this journey of self-healing and self-love, self-focus? Okay. Is this the deck that I need to use first? Well, those just slid out, but this one feels... because that one, those slid out, but this one just kind of fell into my hand. So we've got reality check, 31, which breaks down to a 4. Assessment, exploration, honesty, and determination. Those are the things that need to be the focus. And if they're not something that you focus on, it can create indifference, feeling inactive, feeling misguided, or unmotivated. So this card is beautiful. It has a unicorn on it, and there's this rainbow horn. I had just said you have all these rainbows coming through. The butterfly represents that transformation. The butterfly's in white. I picked up that fairy stone, and again, I feel like there's just this magical connection. Like there's this magical aspect of you that you feel it, but you push it away. And there's lots of nature images here. So this could even be just going into nature to connect. But the assessment, exploration, honesty, and determination, again, that's going back to where I was talking about asking yourself, what is it that you need? What is it that you need to heal? What is it that you needed from others? What is it that your inner child needed but didn't get? And how can you find ways to seek or ask for that support without feeling like you're losing yourself or that you are losing your independence? Knowing that it's okay to allow and to trust others to give you that same care and love that you give them. Soul groups. I love this. I love this. Back to the Four of Wands, the connection, and what I just said, allowing others to support you. So with this, it's messages, reunion, connection, validation. When we do not, so 3 and 7, which is 10 being kind of that completion, 37 is the number. With this, again, rainbows and then the feathers, that connection. So not only connections here on earth, but also connections with ancestors, spirit guides, whatever divine or universal source, whatever connections you have. Without those connections, we feel lonely, we may feel empty, we may feel like we're overlooked or misunderstood. And so it's bringing in those people that are supportive of you and then allowing yourself to trust them to be supportive and trusting yourself to discern if they are not the right people and to be able to say, this isn't right, I'm going to move on to something else, and it's okay. So again, there's an aspect of this where it's focusing on you and sending love to yourself and that healing, and then bringing in people who are supportive of that. So you don't feel like you're around people where you're draining your energy. They are bringing in, oh my gosh, they're all like, they're helping to bring in some of that passion, that energy. Like it fills you up instead of bringing you to a place of a drained energy. Oh gosh. Sure. All right, 25, which is 7. We've had a lot of 7s in it. 7 is kind of this magical, spiritual, divine number. 7, awesome. So with this is like the 7 of Cups. There's a lot of options on this, and it says have confidence. So there are a lot of choices and a lot of things that you may have in front of you. This could even be this soul group and bringing together the people. Notice that the heart is at the center. And we've got the purple, that third eye and crown chakra. Knowing that your intuition is on point, you can make the choices that you need to bring in the things that are going to help you. This is about strength, balance, feeling prepared, and tranquility. You already have all the tools that you need. I think I said that earlier, but if I didn't, you do. You have all the tools that you need. They're represented here in this photograph. It's being able to trust yourself. And as I say that, then I'm looking at the things where if we're unbalanced, if we're not balanced in that confidence, which is a solar plexus chakra aspect of ourselves, there's doubt, feeling scattered, passive, or tense. So have confidence in yourself, because you are an amazing person. And this is where this mica comes in. That validation that you give to others has to come back to you. And having that confidence to just be free. To be free. To not feel like you have to do anything a certain way or be anyone. Let's move on and do really quick a healing mantra card. I see I'm already at 41 minutes. I'm not good at doing short readings, like I said. I'm going to have to work on that. That's why I wasn't even sure I wanted to offer a 15-minute as an option for readings, because I'm going to have to figure out how to do that in a short space. I like getting the full story. What's the full story? All right, healing mantra. This deck is by Matt Kahn. What is the healing mantra? Healing mantra to focus on. Welcoming surrender. There is no problem, only destiny being revealed. That feels very connected to the heart of the sky and the vision quest. Connecting with yourself and surrendering, not allowing yourself to be in this mode of the 5 of Swords, of overthinking and creating all this stress and tension. Focus on this. Focus on being able to make that connection with your soul, your spirit. What is it that you need? And honor that. Monica, I hope this was helpful. And as I said, I enjoy and appreciate, again, you allowing me to hold this space for you. And I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you so much. Bye.